I'm Sarah Lilia, and I'm the director of the Lutheran Episcopal Advocacy Ministry here in New Jersey. And I'm with Megan Glazer, who is the deputy director of the Drug Policy Alliance in New Jersey. And we're just going to talk together about some of the criminal justice reform issues that have been coming up that the state has already addressed, some that need to be addressed. And we'd really like to talk more about how the church can be involved in addressing some of these horrible situations where people find themselves. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your perspective on the criminal justice system and how it's been working in our state?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I work for Drug Policy Alliance, and I'm here in our Trenton office. And DPA really focuses on front-end criminal sentencing reform, really focusing on nonviolent drug offenders, but we do look at the system as a whole, and frankly, it's a broken system right now, and it's having incredible detrimental effects on our families and our communities. So it's certainly an issue that we need to pay attention to. Right now, the United States has less than 5% of the world's population, but more than 25% of the incarcerated population.
Wow.
So that means the United States is incarcerating more people than any other nation in the world. So if that's not an issue that we should be talking about and the churches should be getting involved in, then I don't know what is.
So we're thinking about how people do end up sort of caught in this criminal justice system and they serve their time. What happens as they try to transition from whatever length of time they're in there in jail or prisons to back home? Like, how does that all work?
So there's reentry programs in the state of New Jersey that assist people who are formerly incarcerated who are returning back to our society, because that's something that New Jerseyans need to take into consideration. Everyone who's incarcerated, for the most part, is going to be returning back. And we want to make sure that we're ensuring public safety, but also the successful reintegration of this person, because it is a person. It's somebody's mother or father or son or daughter. And, you know, when they're inside, they lose their jobs, they lose connections to family, they're not working and supporting their children financially. So these are all serious issues that occur once somebody's incarcerated. Once they leave prison or jail, it's often impossible for them to get a job, housing, social services. So people are often serving a lifetime sentence, is what we like to say, because of their previous record or arrest.
What are some of the things that help people along that way?
Folks who have connections to the community often do a lot better when reintegrated into society. So, you know, if they're able to get visits from their family members and their loved ones while incarcerated, that's fabulous. Often it's difficult and there's a lot of hurdles for families to do that, but if possible, maintaining connections to the community is key. And then when people re-enter, being welcomed back into the community. So that's one of the, you know, biggest things I can see the church doing, is welcoming formerly incarcerated people back into the church with open arms. I think re-entry programs do fabulous work and folks should be supporting them, but there's really, there's no substitution for that person sitting next to you in the pew on Sunday. You know, there's no substitution for that one-on-one connection with your pastor. So I think that that's really, really important.
What are some of the things that the churches can do, our societies need to be able to do to prevent people from getting caught in this terrible system?
Here in the state of New Jersey, 1 in 9 African American children have a parent that's incarcerated. Wow. And they are much more likely to not finish school, and they themselves wind up being incarcerated. So I think one thing that we can do is certainly be supportive to our youth and make sure that resources are going towards education. You know, definitely congregations can get involved there. I know that there's mentoring programs throughout the state where there's waiting lists, because these children are waiting for mentors, and many of them often just want somebody to listen to them read. So I think, you know, there's definitely ways for the congregations to interact with them as well.
How is it that, like, local congregations can kind of be involved in those legislative battles, as you call them? You know, I mean, storming Trenton doesn't seem like an option. So what are some of the things that they can do?
So, I mean, there's lots of ways that advocates can get involved. Contacting your local legislators, so drafting letters, making phone calls, even simply writing an op-ed in your local newspaper just to draw attention to the issue is helpful. People in our coalition from all different congregations across the state did storm Trenton in support of bail reform. So folks testified, and you can come to hearings. If public speaking is not your thing, you can still come and sit in the gallery and witness the proceedings and support this important reform that's going on.
Well, Megan, thank you so much for all you're doing. There's obviously so much that we can do to help and support this reform measures, and also what we can do in our congregations to help people who are struggling through this. But we really appreciate all the work you do here in Trenton and all of the expertise you share with us. It's just great to know that we've got friends and allies who care so much about our families and our kids in the state and what we can do. Thank you for your time and for all that you do for us.
Thank you.